Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome back to another WCW My Son the Traitor episode. Today's episode, again, we're just going to be plugging along with Nitro, getting Nitro done. So without further ado, let's take a quick look. We've got a few contract negotiations coming up here. I've also pretty much got Nitro booked on my phone here again. We're going to go face for Brian Kendrick. And then I think we'll probably go... Yeah, I think we'll probably go face as well for Bryan Danielson. Yeah, we'll go face for both of them. We also got D'Lo Brown and Chaz coming in as well. They're going to form a pretty good tag team for us in the future. I'm not 100% sure if I want them to be faces or heels. I mean, Chaz kind of looks like a heel, to be honest. Trying to think. I think for now we go faces. Purely for the fact that when they actually come in, I think I would like to maybe turn... I want to turn Palumbo and O'Hare. I want to turn them heel. I think that'll be more beneficial for us, especially for the tag team division overall. Aguila extends his WWF deal, and let's advance. Oh, TJ Wilson could be a good shout as well. Another one. I mean, him and Harry Smith, we could literally get both of them in. I got Kaz Hayashi here as well, re-signing with us. Brian Christopher and Taka Michinoku both extend. And then Natty Neidhart leaves Stampede, which is all sweet. And we will just continue advancing. Yeah, I just want to say thank you guys for all the recent support. You know, the likes on recent episodes have been incredible. Albeit I'm probably away on my holiday at the moment. So that's fine. We've also got Buff the Stuff Bagwell there, re-signing. And I think that's Disco Inferno, yeah. And he's got a handshake deal. He's actually got a little bit of overness. Might not be such a bad thing, sort of bringing him in every now and then maybe, just to sort of put other guys over. Could be a decent idea. Alright, so let's keep advancing. And let's get into Nitro. Like I said, I've got it all booked, ready to go. And it's looking like a pretty good TV show. Main event, I'm a little bit sort of worried about, but I think overall, it's actually looking like a pretty good card. We might need to add something here or there. It is a little bit short, so we potentially have room to do something. Steve Corino signing a one-night deal. I think he's, the current NWA World Heavyweight Champion, so it's interesting. And then we got Schiavone leaving. I just saw Hot Property Batista there. I wouldn't mind getting Batista shortlisted as well. He's got that good star quality. I mean, everything else is kind of pretty bad. The psychology's bad. He's only got brawling as well. But yeah, good charisma. He's got the look as well. And yeah, I'd be pretty happy with bringing him in. Anyway, let us once again advance. Just want to try and get into this Nitro. There we go. Perfect. We do have a backstage incident, which I'm a little bit worried about. Although it's actually a really good one. We get Kurt Hennig taking Samoa Joe under his wing as a protege. So, yeah, apparently Samoa Joe is now Kurt Hennig's protege. Albeit Samoa Joe as a face. I'd like to potentially put them together. I think that'd actually be kind of a pretty interesting tag team. I think we ran the Mid-Atlantic last episode, so I think we'll go with the Southeast for this one. And we'll probably go... I think we've done the Jacksonville Veterans Memorial Arena. What else have we got? Nashville Municipal Auditorium in Nashville, Tennessee. Why not? May as well. We can also do a rib. Hugh Morris. No effect. All right. That's all good. Let's book the main event first. So it's going to be Diamond Dallas Page taking on Mike Awesome in our main event. We'll give that one 60 minutes. DDP is going to win. I don't know if I can actually call that. I don't think I can. It'd be very, very close. Ooh, I don't know. I might script it for the sake of scripting it at this point, just in case that does bomb it a little bit. So we'll go like that. Our ending angle is going to be another Kurt Hennig, Booker T. We'll non-script it again. And I think that is a pull-apart brawl. There we go. They have a pull-apart brawl to end the show. That's on after the main event. Prior to the main event, what did I put there? Yeah, so Diamond Dallas Page cutting a promo before his match. And that's going to be on Lance Storm, who I think we'll put on screen. We'll go like that. That'll go pre-match. We've then got another singles match where we've got Billy Kidman taking on Dean Jablonski. Sort of a bloke very similar in the mold of a Mike Awesome. Quite a large guy, muscular build. Billy's going to actually go back to the main event real quick, because I didn't do that properly. In my notes here, I've got DDP winning after interference onto Mike Awesome by Torrie Wilson. And that's how the match ends. So instead of that, we'll go outside interference finish with Mike and Torrie. Perfect. And that's again sort of playing into that storyline. That's what I've got in my notes here. I should have remembered, but I'm just trying to book this relatively quickly. This one's pretty simple. Billy Kidman wins. Quick sort of, standard 6-minute match. We then got an angle with Torrie and Billy. We'll go. I think we'll go entertainment for both of them. And this one is going to essentially be Torrie Wilson is going to wish Billy Kidman luck in his match and says she will be there for him. This will all be a little easier to understand very shortly as we get a few more matches and angles done on the card. We're going to go into another angle here for Canyon, and his promo is on Rob Van Dam. Both will be on screen because they're both in a match. We got a tag team match coming up prior to this one. And Canyon basically says that he's going to make light work of Rob Van Dam at Bash at the Beach, which is indeed our next pay-per-view. Let's check Finley on that one. Just a little bit better of a road agent. Then we're going to go into a tag team match with RVD and Canyon involved. So let's go Rob Van Dam, and he, again, following on from last week, is going to be teaming up with Hugh Morris. We'll find his name. And they're going to be taking on Canyon and Buff Bagwell. And this is essentially the way that we're going to actually get Buff into that storyline with Hugh Morris. So it's going to work. I think I want the loser to actually be Hugh Morris. And we shall go... Well, we need to go open. I think we might be able to call it as well. We'll keep it clean, because obviously Canyon's he's already beaten Hugh Morris. It's not really much of an effort, if that makes sense. And then prior to that match, we're going to have a promo from Buff Bagwell onto Hugh Morris, and that'll lead into the tag team match. We could probably go back and forth between them. We'll leave it at that for now. Success for both of them. So that'll kick off the... I'll actually write this one in as well. Buff Bagwell states that Hugh Morris is the first step on his redemption tour. Cool. I'm really liking this show so far, and we've got some more storyline progression coming as well. So after those angles, well, after the match and those angles, we do indeed have Johnny the Bull taking on Little Guido. Another 6-minute match for this one. And this is just going to be a clean match, which is, you might think is a little bit surprising considering Johnny the Bull is in a storyline with Chavo Guerrero. However, we are going to have an angle from Chavo prior to this match. So he'll be cutting a promo onto Johnny the Bull as well, backstage. It's essentially just I'll just leave it how it is. So it's a backstage promo from Chavo Guerrero onto Johnny the Bull, continuing their storyline prior to Johnny going out for his match. We then got another angle. This one, again, progressing more storylines. It's going to be a run-in backstage as well between Mike Awesome and Tori Wilson. They can have Billy off screen as well. So what did I write here? It said that Mike Awesome runs into Tori Wilson backstage. And asks her to... I guess we'll go with company. Accompany him for his match tonight. I like that. And I think we've got one more match left. Yeah. 2, actually. Sorry. We've got 2 matches left. So another tag team match for this one. AJ Styles and Samoa Joe will take on the team of Chavo Guerrero and Mike Sanders. Mike Sanders is actually going to get the win here. Don't really care who loses out of those two. Script and decisive. I think that was pretty much it for that match. We do have an angle prior to it. Again, sort of still progressing storylines. It's going to be Shane Helms cutting a promo on Mike Sanders, and then we have Elix Skipper come out and attack. So we'll go like that. So Shane Helms cutting a promo on Mike Sanders. And then Elix Skipper comes out and beats down Helms. Simple, easy, gets us a match booked for next week as well. And again, continues that storyline, the Cruiserweight storyline. We've got another tag team match. This one has a little bit of sort of storyline progression, but it's Young Dragons taking on Gold Bond Mafia. Give this one 8 minutes, I think. And seeing as Kaz Hayashi just re-signed a new contract with us, I'm going to give him the win. And preferably, I'd like to give Cabana the loss. And go Finley for the road agent for that one as well. And our opening angle is going to be Shane McMahon cutting a promo onto Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Hare, Super Crazy, Psychosis, Jimmy Yang, and finally Kaz Hayashi. So everyone's going to be on screen. I don't know why I'm giving Shane success, but anyway. I think part of me thinks I should maybe just put Shane into every storyline as supporting. Just so his angles essentially, you know, improve the storyline overness and heat. But that looks pretty good. I will write this one in as well, just for storyline purposes. It's pretty simple. McMahon announces a 2v2v2 match for the World Tag Team titles. Simple, easy, done. All right, well, that is enough time. We could essentially do a little bit something else. Could maybe do an angle for Gold Bond Mafia. Possibly. Just trying to think. Who haven't we actually used? We haven't used Stasiak again. I was contemplating putting Stasiak Stasiak and Jindrak. They're already a team. This was a comment, so I do appreciate whoever commented that. And we've got Low Down there as well, which is very good. Very happy to get them in. But yeah, they're already a team. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I just bring them in. And we essentially use them as a tag team. I think that's probably the best option we've got at the moment as far as using them. So we'll bring them back, Jindrak and Stasiak. And I guess we'll just give him an angle. Maybe it's a good way to sort of say why they weren't involved in the triple threat tag team match, perhaps. And we can actually just throw all three of those people, being Stacy, Mark, and Sean. We can throw them all together in the tag team title storyline as well. Just give them something to do. So Sean Stasiak, Stacy Keebler, and Mark Jindrak. Cool. All right, there we go. We're at time, so it works out perfectly. This match will go storytelling. This match will go Wild Brawl. And this match, High Spots, maybe? Maybe not. Johnny the Bull. I think is Johnny the Bull a middleweight? I think he is, yeah. So he's definitely not a high flyer. Speaking of that, I don't think we actually have any sort of high-flying matches apart from this one, albeit Samoa Joe, not really a high flyer either. We can maybe do Steal the Show. I need to read the notes for Steal the Show. Yeah, we'll go Steal the Show. I mean, that is realistically a really good match. So, yeah, easy enough. We'll do a cheeky little pre-show tag match as well, just to get more people onto the card. We might even go Jindrak and Stasiak. They can just actually take on Palumbo and O'Hare. Just on the pre-show there. Sort of like a bit of a test to see how they go. We'll give the win to Stasiak. Actually, no. We'll give it to O'Hare instead. I know Stasiak has more overness, I believe, but at the same time, Jindrak can just lose this match, and because it's on the pre-show, it's not really going to affect things too much anyway. So we'll script decisive loser to be Jindrak, and we'll go with Fit Finley. Going to be non-title. Arn. There we go. All right. Let's run the show. So we start off with a 54 rated tag team pre-show match. The current champions taking on newly reformed Jindrak and Stasiak. And we do indeed have Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare defeating Jindrak and Stasiak in 11:31 when Sean O'Hare pinned Mark Jindrak with a senton bomb. Yeah, good stuff. I mean, Stasiak's up there with a 50 as well. Palumbo off his game. Albeit still a pretty good match. Alrighty, we then kick the show off with an 84 rated angle from Shane McMahon. Of course, he comes out. He is the commissioner, the general manager of World Championship Wrestling. Comes out and he announces a triple threat match at Bash at the Beach for the World Tag Team titles, consisting of Chuck Palumbo and Sean O'Hare. And then we have Anguish and Young Dragons in there as well. It's a really good way to start the show. 1 point away from a blue rated angle as well. All right, we then go directly backstage to a 41 rated angle. Should have scripted everyone here. That was a little silly of me. But we have the newly reformed team of Jindrak and Stasiak. And of course, they're accompanied by the lovely Stacy Keebler. And yeah, essentially they say that they should have been added into that triple threat tag team match, as you know they've just now been reformed and they're arguably bigger stars than the likes of Anguish and Young Dragons. Stasiak doing good stuff without a script there, and Jindrak not so much. We then go into a 37 rated match where we have Young Dragons defeating Gold Bond Mafia in 7:34 when Kaz Hayashi pinned Colt Cabana with a cannonball senton. And again, we still get the penalty there for having a match outside the pre-show with these workers, even though I feel like Young Dragons are pretty much good enough at this point to be running shows on a main show. Alrighty, we then go into a 49 rated angle where we have the current World Cruiserweight Champion, Shane Helms. He cuts a promo. I've done this the wrong way around, unfortunately. He cuts a promo on Mike Sanders. We then have Elix Skipper come down and he beats down Helms, which is going to set up a match for next week on Nitro. It's a 49, not too bad. And again, just advancing. It was meant to be Sanders off screen and Skipper on screen. Honestly, it doesn't matter. You guys get the gist of it. We then go into a 36, and unfortunately, this one being the Wild Brawl, very poorly placed. Anyway, we have Mike Sanders and Chavo Guerrero Jr. defeating AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in 6:29 when Mike Sanders pinned Samoa Joe with a 3.0. Good match. Samoa Joe with a 34 in-ring. He's actually gotten a better in-ring performance there than Sanders has. Impressive. Alright, we then go into a 38 rated angle where we have Mike Awesome running into Tori Wilson backstage. Of course, he still wants Tori. He's still chasing after her, being that stalkerish sort of monster heel. And he asks her to accompany him for his main event match tonight against the world champion. Tori doesn't really say anything, just looks a bit scared and a bit sort of creeped out. We then advance into a 49 rated angle, this one coming from a backstage promo with Chavo Guerrero Jr. And he's, of course, cutting that promo onto Johnny the Bull, who will be his opponent at Bash at the Beach. Also prior to Johnny coming out for his singles match. And unfortunately, that singles match, again, does not do very well. We only get a 36, in which we have Johnny the Bull defeating Little Guido in 6:20 by pinfall with a diving leg drop. Unfortunately, negative chemistry between Johnny and Little Guido. Don't seem to click. And then apparently this match is also between workers that should be on the pre-show, even though I feel like Johnny the Bull's got like 35 popularity across the United States. I feel like that's at least sort of lower mid-card level. I would say that's almost venturing into mid-card territory. So like 40 is pretty much my mid-card at this point. That's weird. Very weird. Anyway, we move into a 69 rated angle prior to a tag team match. We have Buff Bagwell coming out, and he states that Hugh Morris is the first step on the Buff Bagwell redemption tour, and he challenges him to a match at Bash at the Beach. Hugh Morris comes out and accepts the match, and we go into our tag match, which also does pretty well. Definitely stole the show, I think. We get a 69 rated tag team match here, where we have the heel team of Canyon and Buff Bagwell defeating Rob Van Dam and Hugh Morris in 7:45 when Canyon pinned Hugh Morris with a flatliner. Apparently Rob Van Dam really off his game. And again, Buff being penalised for that poor form. If anyone knows what that poor form is or why it's there, I'm assuming it has maybe something to do with Buff versus Booker T on that first episode of WCW. That was technically WCW, albeit in the WWF, but I'm assuming that's why. Let me know if it's another reason. That would be my best guess, essentially. All right, we then go into a 61 rated angle where we have Canyon coming out following that win. He says that he's going to make light work of RVD at Bash at the Beach. Of course, picking up the big win against Rob Van Dam and his tag team partner tonight. We then go into a 41 rated angle where we have Tori Wilson and she's in the locker room with Billy Kidman, and she basically just wishes him luck in his match and says that she will be there for him, sort of, I guess in a weird way, backing him up from Mike Awesome running into her backstage and essentially asking her to accompany him for his main event match. Tori just reiterating her support for Billy. Billy then goes out into a match, getting a 48 rating for us there, where we do indeed have Billy Kidman defeating Dean Jablonski in 6:27 by pinfall with a shooting star press. Dean Jablonski really off his game there, so a little bit frustrating. But at the end of the day, it's still a pretty good match considering how good Billy Kidman actually is. All right, pre-main event angle, we get a 75 rated promo here from Diamond Dallas Page. Of course, cutting a promo onto Lance Storm, his competitor in that #1 contenders match at Bash at the Beach. Lance doesn't say anything, just comes out, takes a sort of verbal beating, if you will, from Diamond Dallas Page, and we advance to the main event, which surprisingly actually did pretty well. I was a little bit worried about this, and it's just scraped a 70 rated match for our main event. So the 70 rating's just good enough. I was sort of maybe expecting like a 62. So yeah, 70's a lot better than I thought it would be. But then again, it is sort of on that lower scale from where we should be, if that makes sense. Anyway, we got Diamond Dallas Page defeating Mike Awesome in 15:46 by pinfall with a diamond cutter. Yeah, weird. This is the Road Agent note. I guess maybe because I made it decisive. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe that's the reason. Because it was supposed to end with Tori Wilson interfering against Mike. So that's essentially the way it's ended, albeit it says diamond cutter. My thought process would be Tori comes out, Mike gets really happy and distracted. The fact that she's out there watching him in the main event. He goes for a move. Tori gets up in the apron. He's sort of wondering what she's doing. And then obviously turns around. Boom. DDP hits him with a diamond cutter. Gets to 1, 2, 3. And yeah, happy with that. And in perfect way to end the show, we get a 95 rated angle here. Where we have Kurt Hennig and Booker T, and they have a pull-apart brawl to end the show. You got all the road agents coming out. You got the referees coming out, trying to separate these guys. You even got maybe some of the newer, younger guys coming out. Samoa Joe, considering he's a protege of Hennig. They're all trying to get in between, separate both parties. And yeah, 95 is very, very solid. Hennig a little bit underwhelming. It says very underwhelming, but it is what it is. We're still getting really, really good ratings, and he did improvise well. So we'll take that for what it is. But I feel like this is really hotting up into quite a decent little match at the pay-per-view for the World Heavyweight title. I feel like Hennig versus Booker T, it could pull like a solid 85 rating. Albeit Hennig's a little bit past it, but he's still got a lot in the tank, and he's still an extremely talented worker. These two for 20 minutes could be something special. Anyway, we end the show. We get a 79 overall rated show for Nitro here, and we do increase our popularity there in 13 regions as a result. So I think we're just missing out on Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. So every other region we're on TV and has actually gone up there, which is good. Because albeit I'm not really expecting to improve too much in both the Mid-Atlantic and of course in Southeast, because they're already at 75, whereas everything else at the moment, potentially once we advance here, is either at 67 or it might have actually gone up to 68. We'll take a quick look. TV rating, I think it's slightly down. Slightly. We get a 1.13, 850,000 viewers for Nitro. And let's take a look at our size. I was correct. We have indeed gone up to 68 across all those other regions, barring Puerto Rico and Hawaii. I'm a little bit frustrated that we don't actually have any TV in Puerto Rico. That's a little bit frustrating. I don't really know what we can do about that. Even if I was to go with my plan in the near future, which is to launch our own sort of TV channel, if that makes sense, around the world. I didn't really want to do coverage in the US yet. I sort of wanted, or Canada for that matter. I essentially wanted to do medium for all the rest of them, if that makes sense. Something like that. So medium for Mexico, British Isles, Japan, Europe, Oceania, and India. I think we're going to be doing that after Bash at the Beach, and we'll be doing commercial, obviously. Essentially, I'm trying to imitate our own TV network. That we as a company are essentially purchasing this network and the television rights to be shown on all these different platforms, I guess. I don't know. All different TV platforms across the world, except for USA and Canada, sort of where our current broadcasters, Showtime, City TV, and A Channel, sort of, I guess they have like a bit of a hold on us, if that makes sense. Whereas around the rest of the world, we don't really have any other broadcasters. That's what I'm sort of thinking in my head. I don't know if I'm really explaining that too well. But at this point in time, it's more or less we're unable to really get any TV deals in any of these. Maybe Japan. I should look at Japan. Let's have a look. So as you can see off camera, I was looking at Oceania. Yeah, it doesn't look like we actually can get on any of these. So we need to be big size for that. We need to be based in Japan for that one. Based in Japan for that one. This one's a bit different. DSF. But then again, you need 70 popularity in 3 Japanese regions, which we just don't have. So, yeah, that's a tough one. And again, Nippon TV is Japan, TV Asahi, also in Japan. So, very frustrating, but I'm thinking that that's sort of my idea behind what I would like to do anyway. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Maybe even give me a suggestion on what you think we should call our TV channel. I was thinking maybe something like Prestige Network, and that'll sort of be our TV channel going forward. Sort of like a wrestling-based TV channel that maybe has other sort of sporting, maybe Prestige Sports. That could be cool, Prestige Sports. And we essentially run, obviously, we're focused around WCW and wrestling, but we also show other sports, maybe like amateur wrestling, NCAAs, stuff like that. That's sort of my thought process, just to get people, maybe even UFC. Could be UFC on the same channel. Just a whole sort of range of different sport products, sort of based around fighting, wrestling, and that sort of, I guess, genre of sports, combat sports, if you will. Anyway, that's my thought process. Let me know what you guys think. Smash a like on the video if you enjoyed today's episode. And as always, take it easy and goodbye.